We've entered the second week of the partial government shutdown, and more agencies have announced they are cutting back on services or closing altogether until Congress and the president can agree on a way to fund the government. At the heart of the debate is a proposed wall on the southern border. Nicole Killian is at the White House with the latest.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen toured overcrowded detention centers in El Paso and Arizona over the weekend, where the federal government is holding migrant families. No photographers were allowed to follow her. She's called for more thorough initial health screenings for migrants, as well as secondary screenings for every child following the deaths of 2 Guatemalan children this month. Texas Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee will head the Homeland Security Committee to investigate those deaths in January when Democrats take control of the House.
The policies of the present administration does not answer the humanitarian crisis. I know that America is better than this.
Saturday, President Trump tweeted, "Any deaths of children or others at the border are strictly the fault of the Democrats and their pathetic immigration policies that allow people to make the long trek thinking they can enter our country illegally." The president is pledging to keep the federal government partially closed until Congress agrees to have U.S. taxpayers help fund a border wall. Friday, the president threatened to close the entire southern border. The president is here at the White House, having canceled his annual New Year's Eve party at his private Florida club. He agreed to lower his demand for a full $5 billion to build a border wall, but Democrats say the new number, $2.5 billion, is still unacceptable. Meantime, the Environmental Protection Agency began furloughing workers Friday night, and the Smithsonian Institution, which runs 19 museums and the National Zoo, will close all locations after the new year. The shutdown is forcing hundreds of thousands of federal workers to stay home or work without pay. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
House Democrats have pledged to introduce legislation to reopen the government when they take control January 3rd. In Whitefish Mountain, more than 100 passengers who were on a Whitefish Mountain Resort ski lift were evacuated due to a lift malfunction. Just after noon today, the East Rim Chair 5 lift stopped due to an issue with the chairlift bullwheel liner. There were approximately 140 passengers on the lift at the time, and the last passenger was evacuated about 2.5 hours after the lift stopped. No injuries were reported. And join here now with meteorologist Connor Pregitzer. It's been a little windy and it's been a little snowy.
Yeah, and while skiers don't love being stuck on a lift for 2.5 hours, one thing they do like is fresh snow.
True.
And we do have some of that coming this way in the next 24 hours or so. As we look at the snowfall estimates model here, it's actually going to first impact Kalispell up on Whitefish Mountain. They're starting to see that here already, and we can see some of those numbers by Sunday morning pushing down across the western half of the state. As we run it forward over the course of the day on Sunday, basically the whole state seems set to get a little bit of the wintry precipitation. Places like Kalispell, Missoula, and in Yellowstone there with the highest amounts anywhere over 3,500 to about 4,000 feet, looking at 6+ inches. There's a lot of moisture here and a lot of forcing to have it come down as snow in the next little bit here. Here's the Billings estimate with all 4 of the models here. We can see some disagreement amongst what might happen, but all the models showing at least something. I like that middle path there, around 2 inches or so once the day is done. I'll tell you why this is happening, what the systems are in the full forecast in just a little bit.
Thanks, Connor. A body was found Friday on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation near Lame Deer. Today, we confirmed with the Northern Cheyenne Tribe Vice President Conrad Fisher that the body was 14-year-old Henny Scott. The body was found covered in snow in an area behind a house in the Muddy Creek area west of Lame Deer. Scott was a freshman at Lame Deer High School and would have turned 15 in January. A casket escorted by FBI and BIA agents was brought by car to the Muddy Hall Community Building west of Lame Deer this morning, where Castro Stops and other community members had gathered to grieve and support Scott's family. Well, the nationwide outage has ended for CenturyLink customers. However, now the Federal Communications Commissioner is launching an investigation into the outage. CenturyLink posted on its Twitter page this afternoon saying outage has been resolved and services for business and residential customers impacted by the event has been restored. The outage lasted nearly 3 days. The FCC chairman said the outage was completely unacceptable because people who need help couldn't use the 911 emergency number in some states. CenturyLink spokesperson Deborah Peterson said the outage is not related to hacking and declined further comment. Specifications on what actually happened have not been released. In 2004, Montana became one of the states that passed a law providing a medical marijuana program for its residents. Since then, there has been a lot of challenges and revisions to this law, the most recent change being in 2017, when the legislative law passed Senate Bill 333. This revision of the Montana medical marijuana program states a required seed-to-sale tracking system and licensing of dispensaries and endorsements for chemical manufacturing. As of this December, all marijuana dispensaries are now required to use an online tracking system called METRIC, which stands for the Marijuana Enforcement Tracking Reporting Compliance. MTN's Marcus Boyer went down to one local dispensary to get more information on this new tracking system and how it has impacted the accountability of the marijuana industry and the safety for Montanans. Here's what they had to say.
Here at MAC, we strive to create a community of patients putting health, safety, and welfare first. It's an established system that came from recreational states. It's something that was already in place that Montana chose to adopt. A testing facility sends somebody to pick up your samples. I have a tag that is on the plant through its whole life, and when you harvest it, you weigh the plant in its entirety. You weigh the stems out of it. You weigh the trim off of it. You weigh the product off of it when it's dry. And when that product is ready to be tested, it's got a tag on it, and they come and take a random sample. Anytime any marijuana is moved in the system, it has to be tracked and manifested. When that sample leaves, it leaves with an individual on a manifest. The amount is manifested. There's a tracking tag with it. The route is on the manifest that they plan on taking, the estimated time of arrival, the vehicle description, the vehicle plate, the driver's license number, as well as your badge number is all included on there. So it has created a ton of accountability for anything leaving the building. Anybody in the industry who is interested in moving forward and having a good, viable program, this is a very positive thing. Anybody who is trying to be in the industry for any kind of negative thing, they're going to hate it. This creates accountability.
Since 2017, Montana has collected $1.8 million in taxes with marijuana sales, all proceeds going directly into the program for continuous testing and regulations. 2019 is just a few days away. The ringing in of the new year also means tax season is right around the corner. MTN's Madaris Babb talked with local tax experts for advice on what people can do to minimize their taxes paid and what changes are being made for the 2018 tax year.
How people file their 2018 taxes will change because of President Donald Trump's Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Bozeman H&R Block owner Stephanie Herring said even though the tax rates were lowered, the standard deduction was doubled, and most people will see less of a refund than in years past.
We do unfortunately anticipate that. A lot of people might have some surprise when it comes to filing this year.
Because of these changes, Herring urges people to start gathering their receipts now instead of in a couple of months in hopes of being prepared.
Finding that out in February so that you have a couple months to prepare if you owe in April is much nicer than finding out on April 10th and having to pay that balance 5 days later.
Even with the new laws, tax attorney Joel Silverman has 8 tips for people wanting to minimize their taxes. They are as follows. 1. Maximize your 401k. 2. Fully fund any health savings account. 3. Have a 529 educational saving plan if you have children. 4. Sell any bad investments and hold on to profitable ones. 5. Make any charitable donations you had planned on by the end of the year. 6. Ask if your boss will defer any holiday bonuses until the start of 2019. 7. Pay any property taxes in 2018. And number 8, make sure you have been paying the correct amount of taxes for the year.
It gets your mind set starting the year out the right way, which is being cognizant of what you're spending money on and what your goals are for the next year.
Both Silverman and Herring said by far the most important thing people can do to prepare is to start early. In Bozeman, Madaris Babb, MTN News.
This will be the first year the increase in standard deductions will be in effect. Well, more to come on the 10 o'clock news here on Q2. The baby blues, something it turns out fathers can suffer from too. Find out more after the break. And later in sports, we unveil the #1 sports story of the year, a girl in a team that refused to give up.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora, Storm Tracker weather with Connor Pregetzer, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.